Hi Stampin' friends! Tonight we're going to use Prettiest Birthday, which is a stamp set from the January through June mini catalog. And it has a lot of opportunities for some coloring and coordinating with whatever designer series paper that you've chosen. So I think it is a cute set to use, and it can also be used, I don't know if you've noticed, it has a congratulations, let the adventure begin. So you can use the little cake as a wedding cake instead if you need that. So it's kind of a multi-use thing. So I wanted to show you a couple of the things that I did with it. Last time I didn't color anything before doing the live, but this time I did some coloring. So I wanted to show you like the ways that I colored these, and then tell you that I used the Paper Blooms paper. This is the paper from Sale-A-Bration. It is number 155222. So it is one that you can get with the, and this is the one I used last week. You can get this with a $50 purchase with Stampin' Up! During just January and February. So it has a lot of really pretty designs of papers. So there are, you know, of course, like always, there's 6 different designs front and back. So it's a fun one to add, I think. All right, so I'm ready to show you what I did. I was kind of a rebel this time, and I did my stamping in Night of Navy, so that's a little different. And I added a lot of the same colors that are in the paper. So this was kind of my little focus paper. It has a variety of different colors. Mostly though, it has the Petal Pink, the Night of Navy, Seaside Spray, Rococo Rose, and the Soft Seafoam. So it's got kind of a lot of really pretty colors. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to show you is something that Stampin' Up! Shared this week from one of their artisans, and it is leaving this down in the die that it's cut out of. Any one of these big ones like this that you use to get a lot of pretty designs, you can take it, leave it in there, and then add a little extra oomph, I guess you would say, by running your, what would you call it, a little embossing tool. We use this to score as well, but in this case, it's kind of an embossing tool all around the edge. So what you do as you're doing that is you just create a little edge that will lift up this shape. So I wanted to show you that because I was so impressed by it, and I would have never thought to do it if I hadn't seen it. So I'm just going an extra trip around just to be sure I got it all nicely done. And perhaps in the points you might want to use the small end just to push it directly against the small, so that it is kind of taut in there, so that it's not, so that it shows that it has the little point. So then you can see here, let me see if I can get it. Yeah, you can see that it has created a little bevel. So it really makes it even more, they are naturally really cute, but that just adds a little extra if you want to. Of course, it's not something that you would have to do, but just, you know, if you think that would add to your project, it's something you can add. And you can do it with any one of these that you have that have these kind of unusual shapes. Just go over to the back and then just push, because it has this lip on it here. So that is what you're running your stylus around. So that's how it makes the bevel. So, all right, so that's one thing I wanted to show you because I was super impressed by that. I don't know if you're like me, but when I bought this, I was kind of like, well, what are we going to do with some of these pieces and how do they fit together? So the first thing I did was I did a happy birthday kind of thing, and then I tried to get this to fit on there, and I wasn't able to make it look like an edging without covering this up. So what I did instead was just move this up a little higher when I went to die cut it, and I added this at the bottom, and then it doesn't cover it up nearly as much. You can keep it right along the edge. And then I wanted to show also the way I like to put the balloons, because the balloons are kind of an unusual shape. And so I wanted to have the balloons kind of at the top like this. I don't know if you can see that. I think that really adds to the balloons and to the sentiment to have it just kind of layered on top of there. So let me say what colors I used. I used the light soft seafoam. No, I used the dark soft seafoam. That was really hard for me because it's so light that I feel like, oh, can you even see it? And the other color I used on the flowers is the dark petal pink. Then on the Seaside Spray, I used dark Seaside Spray. And for the leaves, I used the light Old Olive, which to me is kind of a pear pizzazz. And on the cakes, I did go ahead and use Pool Party, because to me, Pool Party looks like glass. And then let me see what else. The other color I used is the light Rococo Rose. So I don't know if you can see that, but it makes it really rich colors, and it matches nicely with this designer series paper that I chose to use. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on some of this. I wanted to show you a couple of the ways I colored the macarons. I used the green and the pink on this because I wanted them to be pistachio and strawberry. So that was kind of my plan. And then I did a matching little gift bag as if it's the person's birthday. So I used the seafoam for the bag, and then all of the colors in the tissues, and then the Rococo Rose on the handle. And then the same with the matching little birthday cake. Because to me, this is a birthday cake, and then I was doing this one as a wedding cake. Okay, so many things to show you tonight. I hope I get this done. Okay. So I was thinking that this would be pretty as the base layer for this kind of. So if that makes sense, just kind of like right like that. And then with this over the top, so I kind of wanted to leave this down a little bit. Just kind of playing with this. There's a lot of ways. I cut this out of another one. This is the hippo birthday. So I was just kind of showing you there's a lot of different ways that you can do these. And you don't necessarily have to use them just with what they're designed to use. This would look really cute as well. And it would take up a little bit less space. So, you just kind of have to decide what you think is cute. Let me try to put it where you can see. So like that looks really pretty on there as well. And then I'm just going to go ahead with this. Try to plan what I'm doing here. There we are. Okay, now I could also, these fit both ways. I could also put it across this way. That would be super cute as well. Fun, fun. And I was thinking that either some navy ribbon, depending on what color I decide to put on for my base, the Seaside Spray ribbon, this one, let me see. This one with the sparkles in it from Christmas. That would be really pretty. And then the soft seafoam would be another nice one. And I think I kind of like this one because I like the way that it looks with the petal pink, which I consider peach, but I don't know, I kind of like that one. And then let's try to see if we like that one or if we would prefer the Rococo Rose. So if you guys have an opinion, feel free to share what it is. And decide. And that's really not bad. I kind of like it's kind of sherbety with the kind of raspberry colored Rococo Rose and then the peachy orangey colored of this one. So anyway, choices. So I might just go ahead with this. Let me get that started for us. I'm going to go ahead and stick it down. And the back side of this is lovely as well. So it would be a lot of fun to use, I think. Most of these have florals on the front, and they have kind of a, what would you say, kind of a monochrome on the back. Oh, that's not very straight. To do the front. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. Okay. So then I think I'm going to put this directly down on the designer series paper. And then I'm going to pop up the balloons as if they're kind of floating through the air. Just going to put that right maybe about there. Let me see here what I think. What I was noticing is, and what I like, it's not going to be exactly even, but it kind of looks nice to have this, the curve of this balloon right here, right on the place in the, what is the center of that, because it really surrounds the card nicely when you do that. So just kind of my opinion on that. And then let me see here what I have. Whoops, I'm dropping stuff, I'm making kind of a mess. Put some Rococo Rose. Yeah, maybe not. I kind of feel like. Another thing that would look really pretty on here is if you used the Night of Navy ribbons. So, because the Misty Moonlight is a little too dark, in my opinion, of course. But then the, to me, the pretty little Christmassy ribbon might look the shiniest and the most fun. So you can see that just kind of adds a little bit of extra shine. So I think that will be what I choose. Kind of festive. And then I'm just going to tuck this under and add, if I can find it, a glue dot. There are glue dots. I usually keep them nice and close. Oh, here we are. I did have it nice and close. I just couldn't see it. All right. Put that on. And use that to stick it down. I am going to need a little more adhesive right in the corner. Maybe I'll put it on directly on the cardstock. Okay. And then just lift this up and do the same. Just decide if I have it as straight as I want it. It's probably good. Then, oopsie, it slid a little. Here we are. I think I'll just add a glue dot just to be a little more secure. Okay, so there you can see I have my ribbon on, and I'm just going to tie it in a little bow and add it to the bottom, because I think since this is kind of a feminine set, I think a little bow would be cute. I'm not saying you couldn't use it for a masculine birthday, but the flowers that are in the balloons do kind of limit just a little bit. And I think that the amount of coloring on this would really make someone realize that you spent some time on it for their birthday. I think that would be super sweet. Okay, so there you can see my little bow, easy peasy. Just gonna add that on with a glue dot. There we are. So now I'm ready to put some dimensionals on under my balloons. I'll just put one on each end, and maybe one in the middle. And I actually stamped this these balloons in Night of Navy 2, and we're not really supposed to do that when we use the blends to color. But I did it, and the only place I had any problem, I'll lift this up so you can see, was right here on this one rose. And so I don't know why. But it did a little bit of bleeding, and you can see on this side it's kind of darker than the rest, but I still think it looks very pretty. So I just kind of decided that I liked what I'd done and stuck with it. Okay. There we are. All right, so there you can see I've got that part of the card done. Oh, and I meant to tuck this under. Let's see if I can still do it. I bet I can. I can get this stuff up really well lately. It seems like the seal is even easier for me than the snail to lift up, because what it doesn't do is it doesn't stick particular places really well, so that you can't ever get that up again. I mean, it's not, if that's the part, it's not a problem, at least the way I've looked at it. Okay, so all I'm trying to do here is get this centered up, and then I'll just put some either dimensionals or snail would look fine under this, I think. Okay, and it may be that when you look at this, because maybe when I look at this, I may be thinking that I would rather not have the print, which would be fine as well. So anyway, you can see I may end up changing this layout just a little bit, but I do like the way that the way that looks here. Okay, then I wanted to show how I'm going to use the congratulations. What I did was just add this congratulations and then this little garland at the bottom. And so what I was thinking would be good is to just have this textured here and put some texture in, and then put some an embossing folder and let that kind of show through. So that's kind of my imagination thing on that, because what I really like is leaving it just blue here and letting the cake really pop. So congratulations, and then let the adventure begin. What I did here, you know, blue for weddings, something borrowed, something blue for luck. Just to put this on here, all I did was just color with blends these little garland pieces. It was super easy. So you can see that that would just add a lot. And then I think, you know, since the plan is a wedding, that it would be really pretty to add some white ribbon, or you could put a little, you remember the tiny, tiny thin ribbon that is from the, let's see, Playful Patterns. I think that would look really pretty at the top and make a great wedding anniversary card or whichever. So I'm just gonna tie a little bow, and there we are. Don't think I need that much for tails. Okay, so there you can see how I'm going to put that together once I'm finished. Just kind of give it a little extra whatever, and I think that will make a sweet little wedding card. Okay, so then for our last card, I was thinking this pretty patterns here. I think that makes this maybe my favorite layout that I had cut of this. It's very peppy and fun. So what I was thinking here would be just to put wishing you the happiest of birthdays, possibly layered on this as well. And then just put my little presents along like that. And then maybe, I don't know which would be better, maybe put the cake in the bottom, you know, at the middle, and then put these guys on the sides. So I was kind of thinking that would be pretty. So, you know, it's kind of one of those personal decision type things, but I was thinking that would be kind of cute. So for that one, I was imagining putting, I don't want to use the same color as my base here because I think it kind of, I don't know if you'd say takes it down or whatever, it just flattens it. I would like to put maybe some of this ribbon underneath it and then add a bow of it. So I'm just going to cut across here, slide those off just while I'm working. I think I'll go ahead and stick this down. And actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and do the thing I mentioned earlier about like what Stampin' Up! Had said of putting the little bevel on this. I think that would look nice on this as well. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick if you all will be patient with me. What I was saying was just taking the scoring tool and just going around the edge, and it creates a look of beveling on the die cut. So, and then if you think you need to go into the points of each one of the edges, that can make that look a little bit neater. And just follow along. So there, I've done the same thing here, and you can kind of see how it turned out. So then I'm just going to go along here and just kind of line this up. Imagine where the center is going to be, and then put this ribbon right in the center. So I'm just going to do that with my Stampin' Seal. Oh, and if you have a problem with a stamping seal, one thing I think helps is to either twist it when you're finished, like just twist it off, or you can roll it over like this. So like you're adding the adhesive and then you roll it over, and that will cut the adhesive, and then you won't have it where it gets, it's still going to get gummed up a little bit where you have to roll it with your finger, but that will really cut down on the amount of problem that you have with that, I think. So there is that. And then I'm just going to roll it across here, and then you'll notice me roll it over. And then across here, see how I did that, and then I didn't have to do anything to it that second time. And then just look from the front and make sure you've got your ribbon where you think it looks good. That one got a little torn, a little pulled down. Just kind of get it right like that. And then add it here. So easy peasy. All right. So then I'm ready to put this layer on, and I think I'm going to use some dimensionals. Maybe one in each corner, or maybe just across the top, either way. Okay. So then I'm adding that here. All right. Then I think I'm going to add these guys across the bottom. So then what I need to do is put a small dimensional here so that I will be able to adhere the top without a dimensional, since it's going to be laying on this, if that makes sense. And I'm going to make sure I have a dimensional under that as well so that it doesn't, because of the weight of the second item, I don't want it to fall down. So just put that right under there. And then I'm going to center this right here in the cake. So I'm going to take this off, this dimensional backing, sorry, and then add my adhesive, and then center that as best I can. So there's that. And then I will use a dimensional under my cake and under my macarons and under my little present, just at the bottom. So you might want to just put right across the top, just add a little bit, just of the seal, so that it doesn't come loose and flop or get bent or anything. And then a small dimensional at the bottom. Not necessarily, that is too small even for a small dimensional, but it doesn't have to be right at the bottom. I think it'll still be fine. It fit nicely in that one though. Okay. Put that right there. I think I'll just go over just a little. Try to get them even, as if they're sort of sitting on the same thing. And then I'll be ready to tuck my little birthday under there. There we are. And just try to get it as even as I can with wishing you the happiest of birthdays. And then I'm just going to make a bow, and I'll show that real quick. Just what I'm doing is tying a shoe, like a shoe bow, wrap it around with the loop, and then pull the loop through. And then the most important part of it, of any bow really, is getting it right after you've finished it. Just kind of pulling it even and getting it neat and tidy. Okay, then on this one, I think it looks nice on this one to dovetail sometimes. So I'm going to try that real quick. And there we go. Oh, I didn't get it quite even, so I'm going to just cut this one side another time. Let's see. There we are. And then the same on the other side. And if you have trouble remembering how to do this, one thing that helps me is, you put your sides together when you've got it folded over. Just remember that you always want to cut, you always want the outside piece, whatever that is, to be the longest piece. So that gives you a direction in which to cut these. So you don't want to cut where the inside is ever longer than the outside piece. So I'm not being a very good example tonight because I'm cutting these kind of sideways, but anyway, most of the time it works fine for me, and I don't even have to take a second gouge at it. But Anyway, so there you can see I've made my little bow. And then I'll just add that maybe right here to give it a little more of a look. And then I think it would be nice to have also some petal pink rhinestones. So I'm gonna see how that works. You could use, oh, silly me, you could use the champagne ones. I wonder if I can find them. That's what I get into whenever I start one of these. I forget, like, oh, that would be pretty, and then I haven't looked for it ahead of time, and then you end up not getting to see whatever cute thing I've thought of during the live, which I apologize for that, but I am not, oh, I found some, there I go. Yeah, and this will look richer than what I would color. Let's go ahead and do one just so I could show you. This will not have as much color. Even though this is the dark petal pink, it will not have as much saturated color as the pretty champagne rhinestones. Now, if you don't have them, I think this is a decent substitute. I'll put this up closer in just 1 second and you can see what you think. But it is certainly a decent substitute, but I think that the champagne rhinestones are much more saturated. So, okay, if I can get it in the right place so you can see. So there is the one I colored. Pretty pretty. These work great on any of the dark colors that you might want to use, but look how much richer the color is in the champagne rhinestones. So I think those look great with petal pink. I kind of feel like that's maybe what they were even designed to go with, was the petal pink. So I'm going to put that on real quick. And I think right up in this left corner, maybe in that flower, maybe I'll just put it in all the flowers. I'll just be wild and crazy. Because there are 3 of them. You know, they like us to do things in 3s. There we are. Or you could also, if you know, instead, just add them sort of all over the card to add extra look whenever you're doing that. So there you can see this card. That's how I would finish this one off, with just some little rhinestones and things, just fun. You can see a little birthday card. And then our original card showing you how I like to put the balloons on the top. And the main thing I liked about this was the way that the balloon colors look with the colors of this designer series paper. I think it really brings out the colors and it really makes the balloons look nice and sweet. You know, some color combinations may not be what you're going for, but I like these colors together. And I'll be interested, I think I'm gonna unmount this from this card and put just these colors into a particular color scheme and show you that as well, or you know, make another one, whichever, because I think that would also be pretty. And then my last card, ooh, let's see here, I have kind of jumbled it up here. This is actually the second card, I shouldn't say the last card, and then had the little tiny piece of blue ribbon right along the bottom, which of course I've managed to lose somewhere, but anyway, it was right here. So that was our wedding card, and I'm going to emboss the top of this. I think that'll be really sweet. So I appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a great weekend. If you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to help you with any of your Stampin' Up! Purchases. I also have, and this is for anyone, I have a YouTube channel and a blog, and you can reach all of those. There are some links up at the, kind of on the edge. You can sign up for my newsletter. Up at the top, it says sign up, and it's up at the top by the little picture of the bunny for the Stampin' Bunny. So I would love if you would do any one of those things, and I would be willing to help you with any of your Stampin' Up! Needs. Thank you so much. I appreciate you watching. Bye-bye.